Welcome to the Wellness Lab Digest, where we help you to absorb powerful, life-changing insights from top wellness experts with our daily, bite-sized wellness podcast summaries. Each episode is packed with distilled, powerful takeaways to boost your health and well-being. To support this podcast, please scroll down on whatever app you're listening on. Ratings and reviews are helpful. Even better, just send the show to a friend. Or check out our sponsors at the bottom of the page, or simply click the Support the Show link.
Hey everyone, have you ever felt that whoa feeling? Like you're just a tiny part of something way bigger?
Yeah.
That's awe, and that's what we're diving deep into today.
Awesome.
We're going to be looking at how this powerful emotion can be sparked by anything.
Right.
From like a crazy, beautiful view to even just a simple act of kindness.
Yeah.
And to really get those awe gears turning.
Okay.
We're going to be looking at the James Webb Space Telescope.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I mean, seeing back to the beginning of the universe.
Yeah.
Talk about awe-inspiring.
Absolutely. What's really cool about awe is it's not just a fleeting feeling.
Right.
Like it actually changes how we see ourselves and the world.
Yeah, to unpack all of this, we're talking to Dacher Keltner.
Okay.
He's a psychology professor and like the leading awe researcher.
Wow.
For a long time, scientists were kind of hesitant to study awe.
Yeah, I can see that.
It seemed too subjective, too mystical.
Right.
But Dacher figured out how to measure it scientifically.
Uh-huh.
And his findings are super interesting.
Okay. So Dacher himself
Yeah.
was actually kind of a skeptic at first, but he had this experience at a Sex Pistols concert.
Oh, wow.
That totally shifted his perspective. He was in the mosh pit and he managed to touch Iggy Pop's arm.
Wow.
And in that moment, he just felt this sense of the supernatural, a feeling that was just beyond the ordinary.
Interesting.
And it made him realize that awe could actually be studied like for real, you know, empirically.
Yeah.
And that it actually like meant something really big for understanding human behavior.
So what is actually happening in our brains and bodies when we experience awe?
So Dacher's research has shown that awe triggers like a specific set of physical reactions, like chills, goosebumps, that feeling of being overwhelmed.
Okay.
Or even like destabilized.
Okay.
It's almost like our senses are on high alert.
Yeah.
And we're taking in the world in this totally new way.
It's interesting that you say feeling destabilized
Uh-huh.
because awe can be pleasurable,
Yeah.
but it also has this element of like feeling small.
Exactly. And that's where this idea of self-diminishment comes in.
Okay.
Awe has this crazy ability to like shrink our sense of self-importance.
Right.
We become way less focused on our own little ego
Yeah.
and more aware of our connection to something so much bigger than us.
Like that study Dacher did in Yosemite,
Oh, yeah.
where people drew smaller self-portraits after seeing that vastness of the park.
Exactly. It's such a simple but powerful example
Yeah.
of how awe can like totally shift how we see things.
Wow.
We literally see ourselves as smaller compared to something grand and awe-inspiring.
But awe isn't limited to just grand vistas.
Right.
We're like running into rock stars.
Yeah.
Dacher's research has actually shown that awe can come from a ton of different sources.
Yeah.
He calls them the 8 wonders of life.
The 8 wonders of life. I love that.
And what's really fascinating is that the most common source of awe,
Oh, right.
according to Dacher's research, is seeing the moral beauty of other people. So acts of kindness, courage, selflessness, those things can seriously blow people's minds.
I'm curious about that connection
Yeah.
between awe and moral beauty.
Yeah.
Why do you think seeing good deeds is so powerful for us?
I think it kind of speaks to our natural empathy
Yeah.
and our desire to connect with something bigger than ourselves.
Okay.
When we see someone being incredibly kind or courageous,
Right.
it reminds us of like the potential for good in humanity.
Yeah.
And that can be super awe-inspiring.
Absolutely. It's almost like those acts of kindness and courage, they create this ripple effect,
Yeah.
inspiring awe and encouraging us to act in those kind of ways ourselves.
It's a beautiful feedback loop.
Yeah.
The more we're exposed to these awe-inspiring things,
Right.
whether it's a selfless act
Mhm.
or just looking at the vastness of the universe,
Yeah.
the more we develop that sense of wonder and connection in our lives.
Right.
So it sounds like awe isn't this rare, elusive thing only for mystics or astronauts. It's something that we can all experience and cultivate.
Absolutely. And that brings us to this incredible story of the James Webb Space Telescope
Oh, yeah.
and the man who made it all happen, Mike Menzel.
This telescope is like a technological marvel,
Totally.
capable of seeing light from the earliest stars and galaxies.
It's like a time machine,
Right.
allowing us to peek back to the very beginning of the universe.
And what's even more crazy is that the JWST can do this because it sees an infrared light.
Right.
So imagine stretching a rubber band.
Okay.
The more you stretch it, the redder it looks.
Uh-huh.
Light waves work the same way.
Okay.
As light travels really far, it gets stretched out.
Yeah.
It shifts towards the red end of the spectrum.
Right.
The oldest light in the universe has been stretched so much that we can't even see it.
Oh, wow.
But the JWST can detect that infrared light,
Okay.
and it reveals galaxies that formed billions of years ago.
That's incredible.
I'm trying to wrap my head around the scale of that. To think we can actually see light from the very first stars.
Yeah.
It's mind-blowing.
It really is. And behind this crazy engineering feat
Yeah.
is Mike Menzel. He's the lead engineer on this whole project.
Wow.
Mike has dedicated over 20 years of his life to making the JWST a reality.
And what a project.
Right. This thing is the size of a tennis court
Oh my God.
with a mirror that's like a 3-story building,
Wow.
and it had to be folded up like origami to sit inside a rocket.
Oh my gosh.
The engineering is phenomenal.
It really is a testament to human ingenuity and collaboration.
Totally. Thousands of scientists, engineers, and technicians from all over the world
Yeah.
came together to make this wild dream a reality.
I can't imagine the pressure
Yeah.
that Mike and his team felt, knowing that if anything went wrong with this super complex, super expensive telescope, there was no fixing it.
Right.
It's a million miles away.
That's a level of stress I wouldn't wish on anyone.
Yeah.
But Mike persevered, driven by this lifelong passion for space.
And his total belief in how important this mission was.
And it all paid off.
No.
When those first images came back,
Oh, yeah.
Mike said it was like a super emotional moment.
I bet. The culmination of decades of hard work, dedication, and a whole lot of nail biting.
I bet. And among those first images was the now iconic first deep field.
Yeah.
A stunning view of thousands of galaxies,
Right.
some dating back over 13 billion years.
It's amazing to think that we can see that far back in time
Yeah.
to a period when the universe was just a baby.
Wow.
It really puts things into perspective.
Yeah.
It makes our little planet seem even smaller.
Yeah.
Our everyday worries even more insignificant.
Yeah, what I find really inspiring is that Mike's journey to becoming the lead engineer
Right?
on the most powerful telescope ever
Uh-huh.
started with a simple childhood fascination with the stars.
I love that.
He grew up in a tough neighborhood, and stargazing was like his escape.
Wow.
It let him connect to something bigger than himself.
Right. To experience a sense of awe and wonder that was bigger than the challenges in his everyday life.
Wow. And it wasn't just like a solo thing for Mike.
Right.
He had this amazing experience when he was only 11 years old.
Okay.
He was outside with his telescope looking at the stars,
Uh-huh.
and this group of teenagers
Uh-huh.
who weren't exactly known for being nice
Okay.
came up to him,
I can imagine what was going through his mind.
right?
Did he think about running away?
Yeah, probably most kids would have.
Yeah.
But Mike had this like moment of inspiration
Okay.
and decided to share his passion with them.
Oh, wow.
He invited them to look through his telescope at Saturn.
He showed Saturn to a bunch of tough guys.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would have the guts to do that.
Yeah, and you know what?
What?
Those teenagers were totally captivated.
Wow.
The beauty of that planet,
Yeah.
the just awe of it all.
Right.
It cut through all their tough guy act.
Wow.
It was this moment of connection, a shared experience of wonder that just like went beyond their differences.
That's such a beautiful example
You're right.
of how awe can break down those barriers and bring people together.
Absolutely.
It reminds us that even in the toughest situations,
Mm-hmm.
there's always that space for wonder and connection.
Yeah, and for Mike, that experience seems to have stuck with him.
Yeah.
Like his whole life, it
Wrong.
shaped how he works.
Yeah.
And his belief in sharing that passion with other people.
It's like that awe he felt as a kid
Yeah.
created this ripple effect,
Yeah.
leading him to create something
Right.
that now inspires awe in millions of people all over the world.
It shows that awe isn't just something we experience.
Right.
It's something we can create and share.
Yeah.
And when we do that,
Yeah.
we make the world more beautiful, more connected, more awe-inspiring.
So we've talked with Dacher about how awe makes us feel smaller
Right.
and connects us to something bigger. And there's probably no better example of that than the James Webb Space Telescope.
I agree.
It lets us literally see beyond our own little corner of the universe,
Yeah.
expanding how we see things,
Right.
reminding us of our place in this grand scheme of things.
Exactly. And the images it captures
Yeah.
aren't just like scientifically important.
Right.
They're breathtaking.
Yeah.
They evoke a sense of wonder and awe
Right.
that goes way beyond any scientific explanation.
Looking at those images,
Yeah.
it's hard not to feel humble.
Right.
We're such a tiny speck in this huge ancient universe,
Mm-hmm.
and yet we're able to build things
Yeah.
that let us explore its biggest mysteries.
It's amazing.
It's awe-inspiring in so many ways.
And it makes you realize that awe isn't just about size or scale.
Right.
It's about seeing the extraordinary in the ordinary.
Yeah.
Appreciating the beauty and complexity of the world.
Right.
Whether it's how a telescope works or a kid sharing his love of stars.
What's really sticking with me
Yeah.
is that awe is more accessible than we think.
Yeah.
It's not just for special occasions or huge experiences.
Right.
It's something we can cultivate every day.
Absolutely. Remember Dacher's advice.
Yeah.
Take a walk. Look for something new.
Yeah.
Challenge how you understand the world.
It's such a simple but powerful reminder.
I know.
We don't need to travel to other galaxies
Right.
or
Yeah.
spend billions of dollars
Yeah.
to experience awe.
Right.
We can find it in nature,
Uh-huh.
in acts of kindness,
Yeah.
in the creativity and ingenuity of other people.
And the more we cultivate that awe, the more we open ourselves up to the wonder and beauty around us.
Yeah.
And the more we realize we're connected to everything.
This deep dive has really changed how I see things.
That's great.
I'm starting to see awe, not just as a feeling,
Uh-huh.
but as like a practice,
Yeah.
way of being in the world
Right.
that encourages humility,
Yeah.
curiosity, connection.
That's a beautiful way to put it. And it's a practice that can make our lives so much richer.
You know, as we've been talking about awe,
Yeah.
I've been thinking about my own experiences with it.
Oh, yeah.
I remember this one time I was hiking in the mountains
Okay.
and I came across this incredible view.
Yeah.
It was like the whole world just opened up in front of me.
Wow.
And I felt this overwhelming sense of peace
Yeah.
and connection to everything.
It's amazing how nature can do that.
Yeah.
Make us feel that awe.
Right.
It reminds us that there are forces so much bigger than us.
Yeah.
The vastness and beauty of the natural world.
It really does. And it made me realize
Yeah.
maybe I haven't been paying enough attention to those awe moments in my life.
Well, it's never too late to start cultivating that sense of wonder.
Yeah.
And you don't need to go climb a mountain
Right.
or have a multi-billion-dollar telescope.
That's true. Even something simple,
Yeah.
like watching a sunset
Uh-huh.
or seeing a random act of kindness
Right.
can trigger that feeling.
Absolutely. It's about being present.
Yeah.
Being open to the beauty and wonder around us,
Right.
even in the everyday stuff.
This deep dive has really inspired me
Yeah.
to be more intentional about looking for those awe-inspiring experiences.
I love that.
And to
too.
think it all started with this simple question. What is awe?
And we've come a long way in answering it.
Yeah.
From the science of awe
Uh-huh.
to the incredible story of the James Webb Space Telescope.
Right.
We've explored how this powerful feeling can change our lives.
Yeah.
And connect us to something bigger.
This has been an amazing journey,
It really has.
and I'm so glad you've been here with me.
Likewise.
But before we finish up,
Okay.
I have one last question for you, dear listener.
All right.
It's inspired by the JWST's ability to look back in time.
Cool.
If you could see any event from the past,
Oh, wow.
what would it be and why?
Hmm.
Would it be a big historical moment,
Yeah.
a personal memory,
I-
or a glimpse at the very beginning of the universe?
Wow.
Take some time to think about that.
Yeah.
Let it spark your imagination.
Right.
Maybe even inspire a little awe.
I love it.
Until next time, keep exploring.
Yeah.
Keep looking for those moments of wonder
Right.
and never stop diving deep.
Absolutely.
You know, as we've been talking about, I've been thinking about my own experiences with it.
Yeah.
I remember this one time,
Hmm?
I was hiking in the mountains
Okay.
and I came across this just incredible view.
Yeah.
It was like the whole world opened up right there in front of me.
Yeah.
And I felt this just like overwhelming sense of peace
Mm-hmm.
and connection to everything.
It's amazing how nature has that power.
Yeah.
right? To evoke that awe in us. It reminds us of those forces that are so much bigger than us, the just vastness and beauty of nature.
It really does. And it made me think,
So-
like, maybe I haven't been paying enough attention
Right.
to those little awe moments
Yeah.
in my everyday life.
Well, it's never too late to start,
Yeah.
cultivating that sense of wonder.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be a big trip to the mountains
Right.
or a billion-dollar telescope.
Exactly. Even something as simple as
Yeah.
watching a sunset or seeing someone do something kind of
Yeah.
can trigger that feeling.
It's about being present,
Yeah.
being open to that beauty and wonder
Yeah.
that's all around us.
Yeah. Even in those everyday moments.
Absolutely.
This deep dive has really made me want to
Okay.
look for those awe-inspiring experiences more.
Yeah.
Be more intentional about it.
I love that.
And to think it all started with this simple question.
Right. What is awe?
Yeah.
And we've come a long way
We have.
from the science of it
Yeah.
to the amazing story of the James Webb Space Telescope.
It's incredible.
We've explored how this powerful feeling can really impact our lives
Yeah.
and connect us to something bigger.
This has been such a great journey.
It really has.
I'm so glad we could do this together.
Me too.
But before we go,
Okay.
I have one last question for you, dear listener.
All right.
It's inspired by the JWST's ability to see back in time.
I like it.
If you could witness any event from the past, what would it be
Yeah.
and why?
That's a good one.
Would it be some big historical event?
Mm.
Or a personal memory that means a lot to you?
Yeah.
Or maybe even a glimpse at the very beginning of the universe?
Oh.
Take some time to really think about that.
Yeah.
Let it spark your imagination
Absolutely.
and maybe even inspire a little awe.
That's what we like.
Until next time, keep exploring.
Yeah.
Keep looking for those moments of wonder.
Keep diving deep.
And we'll see you on our next deep dive.
Sounds good.
Thank you for listening to the Wellness Lab Digest. If you receive value from the podcast, I have 3 asks of you. 1, share the show on social media with your friends and tag the show at the Wellness Lab Digest on Instagram. Number 2, please leave a rating and review in whatever app you're listening on. And last but not least, please let me know what topics you would like us to cover in the future. You can contact me at empoweringmen.org/contact. And right now we have a free ebook to get you started on your wellness journey as well. That's empoweringmen.org/contact. To support this podcast, check out our sponsors at the bottom of the page or simply click the Support the Show link.